Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to FTRL. It is Tuesday evening, which means it is time for round 6 of the FTRL Nations Cup. This week coming from WeatherTech Laguna, Seca in the United States of America. So we're up to round 6 of the season, getting towards the business end. And this week it is the turn of the United States team to be scoring double points. So they'll be hopefully looking to strike back as they are the team currently playing catch-up in the standings. Last time out we were at Le Mans in France, and it was a bit of a disaster for the home team, Team France. In a double points race, only one car scoring points after dramas befalling all 3 drivers over the course of the race. And it was in fact Team United Kingdom who came away with the big points haul, and after a slow start from them they now lead the championship standings. So can the others hit back this week? We are at the infamous Laguna Seca circuit in California, of course famous for the corkscrew corner, a left-right downhill chicane which plunges 8 stories in a matter of seconds. It's a very interesting and unique challenge for the drivers. I believe we're just waiting for a couple of guys to get into the cars, and we are on their way, so we'll have a quick rundown then of the cars being run this week. We're in the Group 4 cars this week, so the slightly less powerful, slightly less aero, but I mean close and frenetic action. So on board currently with Donzo. He's filling out, I believe, for Switchback this week, and they are in. Oh, sorry, he's in for Froome this week. I do apologise. And they are in the Subaru Impreza WRX, so 4-wheel drive. It was part of the GT2 and GT1 manufacturers list for last 2 seasons, and in fact last season I think it was Donzo took a P2 actually at the race here in the Group 4 car. So this car has form here in FTRL, so expect a strong showing from Team Japan. The home team are in the Dodge Viper, the car which currently leads the GT1 standings. They're currently P3, just bumped down the other slightly there, the Dodge Viper. That's the same car that they ran last week, but the GR3 variation, so they'll be hoping to score big on their home race. Ahead of him now is the mighty Iggy there in the Team United Kingdom Aston Martin Vantage, the car which was part of the GT1 and GT2 class last season. Did struggle here a little bit, so we'll be interested to see how they get on this week. Current points leaders. I'll run down for you shortly. Team United Kingdom, who have been the form team from the last 3 races, have scored just 13 points in the opening 2 races. Have really come alive in the last 3, and they are now the team to beat. Team France, disappointing last time out. SPY just gone fastest, and they are in the Renault Megane trophy car, which has been one of the on-point cars in the Group 4 category on GT Sport for a while now. It was picked back slightly, one of the recent balance of performance updates. Hopefully this week has managed to claw back some of that last week, so let's see how they get on here. This is a very well handling car. This could be a good opportunity for Team France to strike back. And finally we've got Team Germany. Currently all the cars sat in the pits, and they are in the Audi TT. The Audi TT, the front-wheel drive version of this. Now, Goodwood earlier in the season was another GR4 race, and we saw Germany take victory there in the Scirocco, which was a front-wheel drive car. Now, for anybody who plays GT Sport a lot, has done a lot of the daily races and the FIA races, and the recent Group 4 races around here, the front-wheel drive cars have actually been quite on point. The Peugeot RCF has been the car to have, but the Audi should not be too far behind, so expect Germany to be strong here. We shall see how they get on. So just a couple of drivers to get into their cars. Just wait for them, and then we'll be on our way. Just on the chat then. So let's go. Evening Goy Carp. I am very well, thank you. I've just been out on my bike doing about 20 miles in this beautiful June evening. So I am fresh. Plenty of fresh air in my lungs. Looking forward to some great racing around Laguna Seca. City Bash for the love, City Bash. for the win. So he's expecting a strong result from Team Germany. Likely here, but 3 or 4 cars. I mean, I do a lot of the FIA races, so I've seen a lot of the cars that are racing tonight. I've been around here. My initial thought was France would do well. I do think Germany will do well as well, just based on how good the front-wheel drive cars have been recently. Obviously, the Renault Megane has managed to claw back some of its balance of performance adjustments last week, so it should be up there. It's currently fastest in the hands of SBY. I also think the Subaru could be one to watch for sure. That's the reason I went that last season. It was very good here in the hands of Donzo and Peatman. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on this week in Japan. Which will leave possibly struggling the Viper and the Aston Martin. We should be interested to see how they get on. But that's purely me. Obviously it depends on the drivers. Iggy, of course, winner of 2 of the last 2 races. In fact, Iggy for Team United Kingdom. He has been the man to beat, second in Goodwood as well. So 3 top 2 finishes, including 2 wins in his last 3. So let's see how he gets on tonight. Qualifying begins in earnest, so we'll go on board with one of the France cars coming out. So we'll go on board with the lap. We can get inside. There we go. So the pit lane here, down the inside, so you go through turn 1, which is the key. This is now turn 2. And the pit exit comes out here on the run up to turn 3. Tricky right-hander, stay out to the left, get on the curb. Look at the apex mine, that sausage curb on the inside. This circuit has a lot of those sausage curbs on the inside. Got to be very careful there. Run up on the curbs on the outside here. Again, sausage curb on the inside there, to beware. If you flick off that, you'll be in the dirt there on the left. Short, straight. Go on to the bridge, pick your braking marker, then hard on the brakes. And a couple of gears down to 3rd. The apex on the inside again. Watch that sausage curb on the inside. Now we start climbing up the hill. Under the bridge, and then you've got a blind left-hander, so Joe drops away. Again, sausage curb on the inside, you've got to be aware of, otherwise you'll be off on the right-hand side. And now we're climbing up the hill to the highest point of the circuit, the corkscrew. Over to the left, up for your braking points, over a blind crest, then hard on the brakes, turn in, and then quickly flick left-right. So you plunge downhill, sweep over to the right-hand side for this left-hander. Downhill curves on the exit there, over to the left-hand side for the right-hander. Again, use the camber, watch again the sausage curb on the inside. You can ride that one a little bit harder. And down to the final corner, hard on the brakes. Tip in on the 2nd gear. And accelerate out. And you are starting a lap, so we'll go to the camera and go on with Ross, aka Megatron Le Chat, who is going to be the first one to settle lap time, so let's see how he gets on. He also had a bit of a race to forget last time out. Running fairly well early on, but a couple of late errors dropped him out of the points. Can he pull back this week? Down tidy so far. Climbing up the hill, under the bridge. Tidy up so far from Ross. Tips in a little bit wide of the apex there, but you've got plenty of curb on the outside. The Renault is a very good handling car, so got away with that. Over the crest, stamping on the brakes, down to 2nd gear. Tip in. Nice, they don't cut too much. Nice line there from Ross, looking good so far. Sweeping now down the hill, still plunging down the hill. You've been climbing. Now we're coming down the hill, still coming down the hill, off the curb there. You see the car bounce up off that curb into the final corner. Here he comes. Now a short shoot to the line, uphill. It's like left-hander. And the first flying lap is a 1 minute 28.1. So behind him, Aaron is going to go 2 thousandths of a second shy. Iggy, however, goes fastest of all. So for these goes 5th, blue flag goes 2nd. Donzo coming to the line now. He goes 5th. Smith goes 7th, Rom stays P8, Pagani P9, SPY stays 10th, Switchback, he's on an outlap in fact, so next from here is JP Greenwood. Tocco into the pits for fresh tyres. We appear to have lost a driver. Who have we lost? Who are we missing? Appears we're missing CJ, so yeah, we look like we've lost one of the Team Germany cars, unfortunately. So the first flying laps then, so my predictions were wrong, it is Team United Kingdom on top of the pile. Mighty Iggy holding on to pole position after the first flying laps. Blue flag is second for Team Germany, Megatron the Chat P3, Aaron P4, and unsafe release P6, so all three United Kingdom cars in the top 6 after the first runs. Who's yet to set a time then, so JP Greenwood. Smith coming around, so our current GT1 championship leader. The blue flag goes fastest, so say 27.4. Comes T Smith, where does he end up? He goes 3rd, just 2/10 shy, and he's instantly dropped into 4th as Rom, but goes fastest for Team Japan. So Team Japan now top of the pile, Team Germany 2nd. United Kingdom 3rd, Team France 4th and 5th. What can the Team USA do? They've got to strike back. Currently 12th, 13th and 14th. It's set a real representative lap time, so don't worry too much yet, fans of Team United Kingdom. Team USA, sorry. Still plenty of life in those yet. So Rom is our current fastest runner. Popping a blue flag there, who had taken fastest lap from Iggy moments before. Deep into the corkscrew there, has just about got away with a penalty. No penalty given, so that was okay. So 4 different nations in the top 4 places as it stands. All Team France cars in the top 7. On the Chat 7th, SPY 5th, T Smith in P4. So we've got to switch back on a lap, I believe. Currently P10. Come around to choose the final corner. Looks to be a bit of a slow lap, so I think maybe he's just building up. Sunning himself in France. He is back this week. Currently on pole position by 0.146 of a second, so very tightly bunched between Rom, blue flag, and then blue flag just 0.127 ahead of Mighty Iggy in 3rd, who in turn is just 0.136 ahead of T Smith, so half a second covering the top 5, with SPY just 5 thousandths of a second shy of his teammate. So a very close pack here between the top 5. However, the home nation currently missing out, so let's go find one of their drivers. He's on an outlap. Mitch is on a flying lap though, so we'll stay on board with him. Wasn't a solid run last week in his first outing in the Nations Cup. Comes to corkscrew. There's Mighty Iggy, has just gone fastest of all with a 1:27.1. He's just picked Rom. Can't you see the difference in time at the moment? Stay on board with the Team USA driver. See where he ends up. He is onto a big improvement. His first representative flying lap. Where does he end up? Out the final corner. Now just a drive to the line, so maybe the Viper will be at its strongest. Punches out of the corner. He goes up to P9. And the mighty Iggy has gone fastest by just over a tenth of a second, so this gap continues. So still very tightly bunched. Just over half a second now covering the top 5. Iggy on pole. 0.102 of a second from Rom. Gap now slightly opened up between Blue Flag and T Smith. About a quarter of a second between those two. That's the biggest gap in the top 5. They're going strongly again there. So like I said, he went very well in GT1 here last season in the football race in that Subaru, so he spent the season driving it. He knows that car quite well. Put it to good use last time out. So far, and going strongly again. Of course, he made his debut last week as well for Team Japan. Managed to steal a point on the final lap after earlier misdemeanors after going off at Indianapolis on lap 2. Flag has improved, but not enough to dispossess Rom. So just a slight improvement. The Blue Flag stays P3 though. Moves that gap out a little bit to T Smith though. It's now 3.335 of a second. Here comes T Smith to the line. Does he improve? He does. Just comes up short there, so he's got to within 0.059 of Blue Flag, and that means the top 4 now covered by just 0.237 of a second. That's less than a quarter of a second covering the top 4. In fact, there's a bigger gap between T Smith and SBY, 4th and 5th, than there is Iggy and T Smith, 1st and 4th. So that is how tight that pack currently is. Flying out to P7 is the lead of the Team USA cars. Sitting 7th, 10th and 14th with Diluc yet to set a representative lap time. He's just burning fuel, struggling to get a clear bit of track at the moment by the look of it, unfortunately. Down to the final 1 minute 10 seconds, so he's going to have to get a lap time in shortly. But he is your pole sitter at the moment, and the Team United Kingdom driver again continuing his good run of form. On the track goes up to P6, so now all Team France cars in a line, 4th, 5th and 6th. The mighty Iggy's the line. Does he improve? No, he's on an outlap. So he won't improve this time. Coming around, Blue Flag on a flying lap as well, so that will stay on board with him. There's T Smith. T Smith out the final corner. This is a slow lap though, so this will not be an improvement. Alright, so Rom coming to the line, start flying up now. First on the road is Blue Flag, so we'll stay on board with him. We're going to go to the top 5 then as we enter the last 20 seconds. So last chance to improve your lap times. Blue Flag currently P3 for Team Germany. 178. JP Greenwood does it 28.4. It's his fastest lap. Has moved him up to P12. Stay on board with the top 5 then. Blue Flag coming to the penultimate corner. Around the final corner now. The Audi very good in a straight line. It's a very quick car. Driving for the line. Last time run he does a 1. Oh, he goes fastest of all. 27.120. Can Iggy respond behind him? Pit by 40 thousandths of a second. He can't improve. T Smith next across the line, then he's P4 at the moment. Got ahead of him. Currently P7. He improves to P5. T Smith goes second. Rom, currently P4, goes fastest. So Rom looks like he's stolen pole position. Here comes SBY to the line. Now he's had a slow lap, so no improvement from him. Austin's finished already. Pagani's finished. Miss Tocco improves to P9. JP Greenwood currently P10, 12. Stays where he is, doesn't improve. Switchback has finished. So there we have it then. Team Japan take their first pole position of the season through the returning Ron Elson. So time to get the predictions in then, boys. Who do we think is going to win this one? I'm putting my money on the man in pole position. I'm going to put the pressure on Rom. I think he's going to convert pole position into the win. And yes, has just been pointed out by City Posh, the top three are the Volta crew from GT1 and Blue Flag and T Smith. Away we go, and Rom in that four-wheel drive. Subaru gets a blinding start. T Smith punches off the line as well. Blue Flag has gone backwards from P2 to P7. He's had an awful start in that front-wheel drive car. Donzo on the outside of T Smith into 1. Rom has held the lead. Up the inside comes SBY. Getting shuffled wide is Ross in the background, I believe. Rom has made the whole shot, so he leads from T Smith. And SBY to Team France giving pursuit straight away. Donzo up to P4 as well. Good start from him. Using that forward drive, he's jumped Iggy off the line. Blue Flag has recovered to P6. Pagani P7 side by side with unsafe release, and Aaron looking for a way through as well. So he's got the inside. Are they going to go side by side through the corner? They are. Pagani hanging on around the outside, bit of contact. Unsafe release, clip the curb, and that's going to let Aaron through as well. With Artemis Tocco tucked in behind him, and Ross has got shuffled back a little bit there. JP Greenwood switch back, and a look currently P14. Oh, here we go, action into the corkscrew. Donzo gets pushed a little wide by Iggy. Blue Flag trying to find a way through as well now. He's down the inside. Donzo getting shuffled back a little bit there. And then Aaron for release, closing in on the back of Donzo as well. He's going to look down the inside to the final corner. Donzo for release up to P6, so Donzo shuffle back 3 places there in a couple of corners. The field come to complete lap 1 of 34. Down, but Ron Olsen continues to lead. He's got that lead now to nearly a second already as they break for turn 1. However, that Renault very good through the corners. That's where T Smith will be making up his time. SBY acting as rear gunner, and he's got the mighty Iggy charging up behind him. He's back to where he started, P4. Blue Flag down to P5 then, so that Audi may be very good, but it's been front wheel drive. When all the weight shifts to the rear of the car, it struggles to get off the line, and he got swamped off the line. Donzo getting shuffled back even further. Now Pagani's through as well. Aaron's gone backwards. Donzo fighting back against Pagani. Still side by side. Aaron now side by side. Oh, Artemis Tocco turns in on the gravel. Gets very sideways, he's off in the gravel. It's going to cost him 2-3 places. Maybe 4 switchback as well, looking to go past. Down the outside to the corkscrew. Can he... Oh, we're going to go side by side here. That's brave. Tocco trying to tuck in on the inside. Still side by side with switchback as they come down the hill. Flashes the lights from the Subaru, and he gets the position. So Artemis Tocco there. Little mistake on turn in, just clip the gravel. He's out wide again. Gets away with it this time, but that's cost him a number of places. So starting lap 3, it's as you were at the front. Ron Elson that continues to lead. About 9/10 of a second. C. Smith in P2, SBY P3. Mighty Iggy and Blue Flag though, close attendance, the top 5, got a little bit of a gap. 2 seconds back to unsafe release, who's currently P6. Pagani leading the Team USA charge in P7. Donzo tucked up behind him, got himself regrouped after being bullied for a lap and a half. He's now clearing 8th. Aaron settled down in P9. JP Greenwood up to P10. Good start from him. He leaps ahead of Megatron the Shat. Switch back, the recovering Artemis Tocco. De look in pursuit. It's not quite at the common count as we were last week, Michael. Good point, but keep plugging away, mate. We'll get there. You keep just typing rubbish. So lap 3 then, and Rom looking very good at the moment. It's got that gap up to 1.2 seconds. T. Smith has now got a bit of a pack forming behind him. SPY is closing in, and he's bringing the mighty Iggy and Blue Flag with him. Now, interestingly, let's look at the tyres top guys are on. So Rom in the lead is on the soft tyre, which is interesting. The Subaru was very good on its tyres, actually, so even for a four-wheel drive car, so he should be able to run the super softs at some point if he wishes. T. Smith second, also on the soft tyre, as is SPY, and then you've got the mighty Iggy and Blue Flag, who are both on the super soft, so I would expect those two to be doing a shorter first stint, using that extra grip. The thing of the pit stop here is a very long pit lane, very slow pit lane, so you do lose a lot of time. Donzo's wide there, coming out of 3. And that's given the place to Aaron, so Aaron up to P8. Meanwhile, all extra behind, Megatron, Lashat, switch back, and JP Greenwood, who was the man nerfed wide into the dirt. Optimus Taco has had a moment. As is Deluxe, they've dropped off the back of the pack ahead of them, so a moment somewhere for the two Vipers. They've got a bit of work to do. Deluxe running a little bit deep there. Gets away with it. Now where has T. Smith gone? Oh, T. Smith's gone wide, and T. Smith has dropped down, so T. Smith out of P2. We saw that happen last week as well. He had a moment at the Ford chicane. Oh, he's wide again in the background. T. Smith's getting a bit ragged. Same man, usually quite unflappable in the GT1 category. I saw him slip a rare mistake from him last week. Looks like we've had another one this week. That's left Ron with a 2.2 second gap in SPY. He's now fighting a very hard rearguard action as the mighty Iggy's on the attack. He's using that super soft tyre while he's got the grip advantage. Tyre's looking good so far though. Same with Blue Flags, despite being on the super soft and that front wheel drive car. Tyre's looking in very good nick. T. Smith recovering, he's in P5, but he's got almost 3 seconds to make up now to that pack ahead of him. Pagani down the inside of unsafe release through turn 4. Picks up the position nicely. And Aaron trying to get in touch with those as well. He's bringing Donzo with him. Switchback is now up to P10. JP Greenwood P11. Optimus Taco P12. Megatron the Shat is down to P13, so he's had a moment somewhere now as well. Deluxe giving chase. Rom now with a 2.1 second lead, so making haste and trying to run away. All the guys behind him are battling. SPY just clips that sausage curb. It's put him a little bit wide. He's wide again there through the penultimate corner. It's going to compromise him. He's having to go defensive. Final corner, Iggy trying to go around the outside. If you can make that work, that bastard is quick in a straight line. Renault not as fast. Be good in the corners though and on the brakes, so they're going to go side by side, up the start, finish straight. SPY gives him the squeeze. Iggy squeezes back. Blue Flag looking to pick up the pieces if this all goes wrong. SPY deep on the brakes. He's going to run wide though. Iggy's going to switch back underneath him. Blue Flag's going to try and get in there as well. They're now side by side. SPY has the inside for turn 3 and he will hold on to P3 for now, but Iggy is through. T. Smith trying to get in touch so far, not really making much impression on the guys ahead of him, even though they are battling. SPY now trying to come back at the mighty Iggy. Nose to tail. Meanwhile, Ron Olsen running away to the tune of 3.8 seconds, looking very good for Team Japan here at the moment. SPY's had a bit of a moment there, that's given Blue Flag a run up the hill. And Audi is quick in a straight line. They'll have the inside for the first part of the corkscrew. Are they going to go side by side? SPY thinks better of it, and Blue Flag is through and back up to P3. T. Smith now is starting to close in on the guys ahead of him though, but Iggy making a break. He now tries to close down on the race leader. You can see the tyre wear now starting to affect that Aston a little bit as well. His front's starting to wear. In fact, his front tyre wear is worse than that of Blue Flag's, I believe. Which is odd, because the Audi being front wheel drive should wear its tyres more, but Blue Flag being very smooth. SPY thinking about moving to 1, not quite a 2, sorry, but not quite close enough. Pagani has a small queue forming behind him. led by Unsafe Release. Aaron now in touch with his teammates, and Donzo there as well. Switchback has found himself in a bit of a lonely gap again. He's got JP Greenwood not too far back. Good run so far from JP Greenwood. Didn't have the best time last week in the Audi R8. Unfortunately, the Audi R8, very tricky car to get a handle on, being mid-engine rear-wheel drive. It's a tricky beast, and I think all three drivers came a cropper last week with it. Ross has recovered to P12. Just going to look running nose to tail in formation again. Need to get themselves into the points to make use of their double points week. Other just dipped a wheel there. But your race leader now coming to the end of lap 7. Rom Elson looking very good at this stage. The gap is 3.8 seconds. He has now got 1.3 seconds to blue flag, who's trying to get back on terms. He's had a much better run out the final corner. Right, and T. Smith closing back in as well. T. Smith after his moment. Now quite comfortably bit of a gap now ahead of Aaron, who has passed his teammate. So the Team UK got one, so he's gone a little bit deep there. Into turn 2. That's Donzo around to his tail. So Donzo now looking to start regrouping and gaining positions again. Had a great start, was running 4th at one point. Look at the tyre wear on Unsafe Release's car. So compare it with Aaron's, you can see he's a fair bit more than Aaron's. Look how much Iggy. Iggy's a lot better on his tyres at this stage of the race. D. Smith again in the gravel. Trying a little bit wide, gets away with it though, just about. Donzo has passed Unsafe Release finally, so Unsafe Release's tyre looking really heavily worn at this stage. Making those super softs last as well as his teammates. I would expect him in any time. I think he'd be well advised to go onto the softs as blue flag pits from P3. So he is the first one to make a pit stop. Unsafe Release is carried on. Carries on as well. JP Greenwood closing in. He's also on the super stuff. You can again look at the tyre wear there, and Megatron the Shat is now really closing in. Look how much tyre wear better is that on that Renault Megane. As they go past blue flag, who's just coming out of the pits. He's moved onto the soft tyre now. He's going to come out right in the middle of this battle, I think here. He's going to drop in just behind it, but he's going to go straight on the attack, looking at the inside of Ross. Not quite able to get through, but Ross is up the inside of JP Greenwood. He runs a little wide. He lets his teammate through. So what can the blue flag do? He's only gone for about half a tank of fuel, so doesn't look like he's put any fuel in at this stage. Back to the front, and Rom has opened that gap up. Now it is 5.7 seconds. You can see now the tyre wear on the Aston starting to hurt him. Last lap that was the 30.7, so a mistake somewhere from the mighty Iggy. As he comes to the final corner to complete lap 9. Wilson with a 28.9 there. Consistently quick laps. Iggy was a 29.4. So more time there's Aaron Pitts, so Team UK driver in. He leaves P6. So just starting to spread out a bit. Unsafe Release has carried on again, interestingly. So blue flag now has got clear track in P8. He's cleared Ross. Switchback has also... Has he dropped back there? I think Switchback has had a moment, because he was ahead of Megatron the Shat. He's now behind him. Switchback has had a moment, and when leaving the pits, JP Greenwood is in. Look, seems to have had a moment somewhere. Race leader though is Rom Elson, now 6.2 seconds in the lead as we approach 1/3 distance. The key here is definitely minimising the amount of pit stops you take, because it is a lot, like I said before, it's a long time in the pit lane. He comes around to start lap 11. Iggy now is getting closed down on by SBY. So SBY is coming back at the Aston Martin. You can see, look at the tyre wear on that Aston. Those tyres definitely past their best. Keeping nice lines, keeping his times in the 29s though for the last couple of laps. SBY did a 29.1, so he pulled back 6/10 on that lap. That's got him right back on the tail. T. Smith had a bit of a slow lap. So the winner of the first two races, quite able to replicate his form ever since. He had a good run obviously in round 4 where he was in the battle for the lead until the last couple of laps. At the moment it is SBY who is on the tail of Mighty Iggy, looking to take back P2. So is this going to be a race based on the tyres more than the fuel? You can see the SBY there, probably just on about just over 1/3 of a tank still. A tyre race. Does Iggy pit this time? Rom carries on. Iggy surely has to pit. He does. SBY is coming in with him. And he's a lot better on fuel. T. Smith is going to carry on. So he is happy to push on for another couple of laps. Pagani pits. Donzo carries on. Coming around then, where is blue flag going to come out relative to Mighty Iggy? So Iggy's still fueling up. There's a number of cars pitting now. All this has left a Ron Nelson with a 10-second lead on lap 12. T. Smith second, Donzo back up to third. Blue flag has come out in. He's now up to P4 with Ross in P5. He's yet to stop. SBY just comes out of the pits. He has jumped the Mighty Iggy in the pits. So SBY up off position there. Deluxe running wide, getting out of the way of everybody coming around. Takes out one of the braking markers for turn 4. You probably know somebody. SBY now closing on his teammate Ross. And Ross let him through. SBY just out of the pits, so I expect him to let him through quite quickly. Ross pulls over to the inside there. SBY should go through. No, not quite close enough yet. And all this is letting Iggy close in, so Ross let his teammate through. SBY on fresh tyres, Rom Elson and Donzo pit, so race leaders in. T. Smith has carried on. Blue flag going through. Ross now pulls over and does not let Iggy through. He's going to have to go around the long way. In fact, no, he's going to drop in front of him, so there we go. So now Ross playing the team game. Can he hold up the Mighty Iggy for a few corners? He has the inside there on the run down to turn 2, and he will take the position. Fresh tyres there on the brakes. And he is up to P5. Ron Elson's come out in P3. Or that he is 7 seconds behind blue flag. So it's interesting to see where these two shake out on slightly different strategies now. So Ron has filled the tank up to about 3/4. Blue flag on 1/3 of a tank. So shorter pit stop has given him track position. Meanwhile, race leader T. Smith up to lap 13. When is he going to break off into the pits? And he's carrying on. Now I wonder if he thinks he can get the half race distance and do this on one stop. HRC. So he's got almost a 9-second lead over Blue Flag. Currently, Rom now in P3. I'm expecting him to have to make one more stop. SBY P4. He's giving chase. On the Shack carrying on as well, so it looks like Ross is also going to try and do the one stop. Pagani up into P7. Aaron not too far behind, these two seemingly always together on track. Bonzo P9, he's lost a little bit of time to Aaron. JP Greenwood is P10, so he's jumped unsafe release. Who now also has Artemis Tocco all over the back of him, so has unsafe release had a couple of slow laps, so he's down to 28.3, so he's just at his fastest lap of the race. So you can see some lap times there in the 32s. Let's park him down, switch back down to P13. Lap traffic, so race leader is T. Smith. Gap is 8.1 seconds to Blue Flag. He's trying an aggressive strategy. You can see the fact that he's gone super soft to start. He's not filled the tank for the stint either, so he's pushing hard. And the background is pole sitter and previous race leader. Before the pit stops, Rom is P3, SBY is P4. You can see he's got less fuel in the car as well, so he's stopping again. Iggy trying to get a bit back on terms. Now he top 5. Ross carrying on as well. He's P6. It looks like he's trying to go to half distance as well. There's Pagani closing in. Aaron there gets a kick of oversteer. Comes out the final corner. Giving chase. And giving chase to him is Donzo. JP Greenwood unsafe release and Artemis Tocco nose to tail in the battle for 10th, 11th and 12th. A good run. Down at 2, turn 2, he has a look up the inside, he's not quite close enough. Now Artemis Tocco having a look, weaving around in the mirrors. He's into the points now. It's this double points week for Team USA, so he'll be wanting to score big. Good run there from unsafe release. He's had a very good run out of 4, but runs into the back of JP Greenwood, and that's going to give Artemis Tocco a run. He's not quite close enough though. He comes, swings around the outside now, driving up the hill. Not really overtaking position here. Unsafe release having a bit of a wobble on the brakes. Just keeps it on the curb though, doesn't run onto the dirt. JP Greenwood still just ahead. JP Greenwood's deep into the corkscrew. That's going to give unsafe release a run around the outside. Again, not quite close enough to capitalise on the mistake. He's wide again there though. Now he's going to come in tight. They're going to go side by side through the penultimate corner. Unsafe release around the outside. It's a brilliant move there from the Team United Kingdom driver. Artemis Tocco looking to go down the inside. Not quite close enough. Now looking to get a run down the start finish straight. That TT is quick in straight line. Great move there from unsafe release, goes round the outside into the penultimate corner, capitalising on that error from unsafe JP Greenwood, and he now goes deep into turn 1, runs wide, and through goes Artemis Tocco. So gifts the position there. He's got it all to do again. Now switch back and try to close it as well. Back with the race leader, the gap down to 6.1 seconds now, and we are approaching half distance. T. Smith is definitely going to halfway. He's trying to do this on one stop. Behind him, Blue Flag. He's already stopped once. And Rom is P3. Was our erstwhile race leader. He's 9 seconds off the race lead. He is closing though, because he's on fresh tyres. So we've got interesting strategies playing out here. It looks as if Rom and Blue Flag are on at least a 2-stopper. T. Smith on the 1. Can he make his tyres last? Where will they be? Shake up T. Smith. They'll probably be in this lap. This is half race distance. Rom now 8.5 seconds off the lead, so he's taken 6/10 out of the race leader. Since the start of this lap, he is still coming. SB White still in P4, holding off the mighty Iggy. P6 still, Ross is hanging on in P6, but he's on the red line in terms of fuel now, so he'll be in this lap. Pagani is closing in for that position. Aaron has just fallen away a little bit, and Donzo is closing. So those two are about to resume battle. They are 8th and 9th. Put the Viper of Deluxe in the background there behind him. He's a lap down. Still, this battle for P10 going on now. Artemis Tocco is at the front of the queue then, so he has passed Unsafe Release somewhere. He's up to P10. Unsafe Release still tucked in behind him. Race leader pits. Green was still tucked in as well, kicking up dirt again. And FTRL switchback, making this a four-way battle for position. He's closing in as well. Look, I think is having a bit of a struggle this week, because he had a good fight back last week after a moment on the opening lap. Left him adrift after almost clattering into a couple of cars. Managed to avoid it but go down the runoff at the first chicane on the Mulsanne. But fought back and overtook all Team France cars in the last 3 laps of the race. What can he do this week? So, new race leader, FTRL blue flag. However, you can see he's now on the red line in terms of fuel as well, and Rom Elson is closing in on him rapidly. Rom in the 27s, he did the personal fastest lap on lap 14, 27.2, 27.7, 27.7, 27.8, so he is metronomic with his lap times. The blue flag in the same period of 27.8, 28.5, 29.2, 29.1. So the Audi hemorrhaging some time. After his pit stop, T. Smith's come out in P7, slap bang in the middle of Aaron and Donzo. He has not changed his tyres, according to that graphic. Has he made a mistake? He's got fuel, but he hasn't changed his tyres. Something has gone a bit wrong for T. Smith. Is he going to stop again for tyres? Because he hasn't changed. Has he clicked the wrong button as he's entered the pit lane? Has that just ruined his race? You can see he's let Donzo through. Donzo now right on the tail. Feel the back meanwhile. Switchback is now the head of this queue. JP Green with unsafe release. Artemis Tocco has dropped down, so something's gone awry there. Megatron the Shat has come out in P13. As T. Smith has to pit again for tyres. So yes, T. Smith has hit a button entering pit lane and has not changed tyres, and that might have ruined his chances of winning this race. The flag is draining the tank. He'll go as long as he can, but he's got Rom right up behind him. SBYP3 just stopping away a little bit, but keeping Iggy at arm's length. Battle for P4. Pagani is now P5. Donzo up the inside of Aaron on the run down to 5. Gets in position. Nice move. Out in P8 with some fresh tyres now. How is that going to cost him? He's going to be kicking himself. Switchback has now got unsafe release for company. Artemis Tocco ahead of Megatron the Shat, who has just made his one and only pit stop. JP Greenwood has just pitted. He comes out again. Blue flag pits with just a litre of fuel in the tank, and that has released Rom, who is on his way again back into the lead of the race. So lap 20, 14 to go. Pagani pits as well. So this be his final stop. Can he do 14 laps on a set of tyres? And getting very sideways coming out of the final corner as he gets some power on the curbs. So race leader is Rom Elson again, on the pole sitter. 6.6 seconds ahead of SB White. Trying to close that gap. He's got it to 1.2, 1.1. So chipping away, but SB White quick through the corners. You can see that gap opening up again as they come through around the corner up the hill. And now on the power, Aston Martin starts to close in again. Around the corner they go. Now the gap opens up, so this gap now toing and froing. SBY driving very well at the moment. Of course, the GT2 calendar visited this circuit for the Group 3 race last week. SBY, after a poor Group 4 race, started towards the front, was our race leader, but tried the 3-stop strategy and that didn't pay off for him. So he lost out with that extra pit stop. Currently P2, Iggy P3, Donzo now P4. Aaron in a battle with Blue Flag then, so Blue Flag now trying to see what he can do on fresh tyres. He's on the super softs again, so just to see what's going on. Has a look up the inside of the final corner, not quite close enough, drops back in behind. Aaron though has a big wobble coming out the final corner again. That's allowed Blue Flag to get alongside, and Audi is quick in a straight line. He's up the inside and through. So swing through one on the brakes for turn 2. Gets the move done. Smith P7, he's going to be kicking himself for that. Made a mistake, didn't change his tyres. P7 with, he got the look behind him. Oh, contact in the background. Pagani trying to get up the inside of Ross, and they touched. Ross out to the edge of the circuit. Through he goes. Artemis Tocco closing in on them as well. He's very wide, and Pagani there gives the position back. Of course, Ross is going to the end. So Pagani is going to have to get that position back from him. Switch back ahead of these guys. Artemis Tocco just tucked in behind. So Felice has dropped away a little bit. 37.5 on that lap, so he's had a big off somewhere. Again there, you can see he's struggling with tyres. His tyre wear is awful on that right front. And Aaron pits from P6, this will be his final stop. Anybody else coming in? No, not in immediately behind. Switchback defending from Megatron the Shat. And Pagani as well. Drag race up the start finish straight. Subaru just hangs on. Heather McGann, who's now down the inside and looking up the inside. Pagani trying to come around the outside. He's going to pin Ross to the inside. He'll then have the inside for turn 3. And that is a very good move from Pagani. He takes 8 position back. Now he's straight onto the back of Switchback. Side by side through 4, that's not going to work. Switchback gets squeezed out to the dust. Pagani is through. Should just be able to cover Ross off. And good move there from Pagani, so 2 places gained. He's up into P7. Ross now looking for a way back past Switchback. A little bit sideways there. As he flings it into the corner, gets a good run up the hill towards the corkscrew. Switchback's going to cover the inside. Of the Scots representing Japan and France, and Artemis Tocco closing in again as well. Let's see how good that Renault is through the corner. Switchback peels off into the pit, so he exits that battle. Will be his final stop. Donzo in the pits as well for his final stop. So Felice finally peels off as well. Those tyres have cried enough. We'll promote JP Greenwood. P10, obviously there's 3 cars in the pits. Let's see where he ends up. But he can come out, switch back to go in the pits. Donzo has just left, so he's P9. He's going to come out alongside Aaron. And Aaron just gets ahead of him, so this battle resumes. You can see what a great run Donzo got off that corner there. He's not quite close enough to throw it up the inside. Race leaders are in. So Ron pits, Iggy pits, SBY pits, where is blue flag. Coming through the penultimate corner now. Blue flag again, looks like he's not fueled to the finish. So he's going for another stop. Ron will be now filling up to the end. So blue flag will take the lead. Rom's on his way. Blue flag leads for now, but only a quarter of a tank left. Smith comes around the final corner. Where is he going to come out relative to Iggy and SBY? Iggy is on his way. SBY is on his way as well. Where is T. Smith? He's going to go past Iggy. Iggy is going to have a tighter line around the first couple of corners. This is going to be very close between those two. SBY is ahead. T. Smith just sweeps around ahead of Iggy. So T. Smith up into P4. Splits his teammate and the Team United Kingdom man. And he has managed to get Ross. So those two are battling. Aaron and Donzo battling as well. JP Green with P10. Top there, they're just coming out of the pits. So that'll be a battle. So JP Green round the first corner. And Artemis Tocco come out just behind him. So it wasn't, it must have been the look coming out of the pits. It was, so yeah, I do apologise. Another battle for JP Green with P10, switch back on his tail to look in the middle, so that's what's confused me a little bit there. I'll say Felice has had a bit of a shocker this week. He had an excellent P2, that's always wide again, so he's pushing. Sets a personal best first sector on the dirt. It's an interesting line. Your race leader is blue flag, however he looks like he's going to have to stop again for a splash of fuel. I could be wrong. It currently holds P1, 4.1 seconds ahead of Rom. And here's SBY third. T. Smith and Iggy side by side around the first couple of corners. These two are 1 and 2 in the GT1 Championship. Iggy's gone around the outside, he's now got the inside for turn 3. And he takes the position. T. Smith trying to switch back up the inside though. Gets to drive off the corner, but no, the Aston has got a good punch off the corner. And he's up, back into P4. Let's go on board if we can. Can't do any on boards anymore, pushing the race. Battle carries on, meanwhile Pagani and Ross still battling over P6. Half a second between these two. Viper on home turf. Defending from the McGann. So we've got the Aston Martin defending from a McGann, and Viper defending from a McGann. Ross getting a good X there, very tight line out that final corner. Gets the punch with the Viper. It's a quick and straight line, so Ross will have to work for it. McGann's going to send him around the long way. Further back, Aaron and Donzo battling for P8 and 9, so these two inseparable still as well. So we've got a nice little few groups of pairings together. Switchback is now up into P10, so he's got ahead of JP Greenwood, and now he's left him to Artemis Tocco. They scrap over P11 and P12. And again, that's the look. Sorry, it's confusing me. Race leader F blue flag. Might get down to just 2.6 seconds though, and he bails off into the pits, so this will be his final stop, splash and dash. And that will release Rom on his way. But it does now look as if, barring any big dramas, Rom is on for the victory here. SBY, who should come through into P2. It's currently 12 seconds back from the race leader. Where does blue flag come out? Fresh tyres. going in, won't need a lot. It looks as if though he's going to come out in P5. He is on his way. He's now up to P3. Just in the background, coming out of the pits, I believe is Blue Flag. There he is. So he's not too far behind T. Smith and Iggy. So a podium is potentially on. There they are, 3rd, 4th and 5th, all in a line. He's dive under the bridge between corners. So what can Blue Flag do now? About the two ahead of him. Pagani and Ross still battling. Ross over the sausage curve there. Flicks the car up in the air. Pagani holding on. Ross just waiting for his gap. Can he fashion an opening a little bit wide there? Pagani just gets on the curb though. Okay, that's going to let Ross close in. And Donzo still nose to tail as well. You can see how much better the tyres are on that Subaru. When will that come into play? He's got a good run up the hill here. He's having a look up the inside, just showing in the mirrors. Trying to force a mistake. Doesn't fall for it this time though. Good run up the hill. And hard on the brakes. For the corkscrew for the 27th time. A lot of curve there from Aaron. Might be a penalty. He might have got away with it. Flash of the lights. Say I've got away with it. So he continues to hold on to P8. Further back, switch back. Now pulling away in the battle for P10. JP Greenwood 4 seconds behind, but still hanging on to a couple of points for Team Germany. Artemis Tocco trying to get back on terms. I'd say Felice taking the slow route down the corkscrew. Unfortunately, I think JP Greenwood is pit. His tyres are cooked, so this will be his final stop. Aaron and Donzo still nose to tail. Ross even closer to the back of Pagani. And there's been a change for P4. T. Smith has been caught and passed by Blue Flag. So what should have been a one-stop strategy turned into an unfortunate 2-1. And we lost a place, so Blue Flag on the charge. And he now tries to close in on the mighty Iggy for the final step on the podium. We've got 6 laps to go. SPY now in a very comfortable P2. And your race leader in a very comfortable lead, 13.2 seconds from Rob. Stunning lap in qualifying to take pole. And he is led from the front. Ross is in the pits now, so Ross has not decided he can't do it. He can't. He's underfueled to do the one stop. So that will take the pressure off Pagani. Making a comfortable P6. T. Smith with 30.8 that lap, so as Blue Flag says a 26.7. Fastest lap of the race, and he is right on the tail of the mighty Iggy. So the battle for the final step of the podium is on. These two duked it out at Goodwood. Blue Flag came out on top that time. And a good run up the hill again there. He's on fresher tyres. Can he make it count? He goes side by side. Respect given. Iggy swings around the outside and hangs on to the position. Good driving from these two there. Has another look at the inside, again shows the nose into the corkscrew. Oh, a bit of contact. Kind of didn't want to make that move there, I think. But I think kind of got his nose stuck in. Gives the position. But for now, again, up down the inside. He's trying to put Iggy off, throwing it in absolutely everywhere. Down the inside to the final corner. And I think the tyres are going to reap their benefit this time. Yep, he's got more grip. And up into P3. Takes the position away. The older tyres of Iggy just hurt him a little bit. They didn't have a lot to defend with. However, T. Smith has dropped 4 seconds back. So I don't think he's going to get back on terms with Iggy. His tyre wear is currently worse, so down in the 30s. Pagani 7 seconds back. 5 laps to go, including the one that they're on. Don't think he has enough time to catch T. Smith without a mistake from the Team France man. Donzo has finally prevailed in his battle with Aaron over what is now P7 and P8. So he's pulled about a second. Aaron's tyres looking past their best. Does he have anything to come back at the Subaru with? He won't do it out there. The grey stuff. There we go. Trying to shut after his pit stop is now P9. Switchback is P10. Artemis Tocco P11. Also Felice and JP Greenwood are neck and neck in the battle for the final point. So Germany man has just, or not long, pitted. So he's on fresher tyres. We've seen unsafe Felice. You can see the state unsafe tyres in already. He's persisted with the super softs. He's going to be wide there, and that's going to open the door. Keeps his foot in, but the Audi goes through. So the Team Germany man up into the points. So the Brit in the German car overtakes the German in the British car. Both of them run over the curbs at the corkscrew. Go in a little bit hot. Both picked up penalties. Oh dear, JP Greenwood kicking up the dirt again there, coming down the hill. A slightly understeery nature of the Audi. Catching him out. And one man, however, who has not been caught out is your race leader. 13.5 seconds to the good. And on his way to take Team Japan's first victory in the Nations Cup. So he starts lap 32. So 3 laps to go. The one on SPY, holding on to second. Blue flag after setting that blistering pace. You can see that he's dropped Iggy quite convincingly. Gap ahead of him is 5.6 seconds. Only 3 laps to do anything about it though, so barring a mistake, it will take something quite special for him to catch SPY, but anything can happen. SPY, very good drive from him there. His second outing of the season for Team France. He holds on to P2, good points for them after the horror show that was last week for at Le Mans for them. Iggy, his run of podiums likely to come to an end. Still solid points for P4 for our championship leaders. T. Smith is P5. That gap to Pagani has held station, so Pagani not able to close in. He's only on 2 P6. Donzo now has a comfortable gap back to Aaron in the battle for P7 and 8. We're on the Shat P9. A bit of a lonely race for him. 9 seconds ahead, 5 seconds behind. Another lonely drive for Switchback as well in P10. Artemis Tocco P11. JP Greenwood has now dropped also Felice quite convincingly, so the field has now spread out into the final stages. And Ron on his way starts the penultimate lap of the race. Gap between SPY and Blue Flag down to 4.7, but it's not enough. Took 0.6 of a second that lap, but that will not be enough. So Blue Flag is charging. But I think it's a little bit too late to do anything about SPY. Iggy has settled at 4P4. T. Smith. Could have been for him had he not have messed up his pit stop. Actually lose so much time around here with an extra pit stop. To do with that extra lap on those 17 lap old tyres as well. It's cost him a potentially better results. Pagani leading the Team USA charge. He's P7, Donzo P7, sorry, he's P6, Donzo's P7. Aaron now P8, with Ross P9, switchback P10. Artemis Tocco will bring home points for the USA in 11. JP Greenwood will be taking his first point for Team Germany. So he comes around to start his penultimate lap. So Felice's tyres trying again. Aston driver very heavy on that front right. But onto the final lap then goes Rom Elson. It's been a brilliant drive from him. Drove away at the front while those behind him were battling. Rarely troubled from behind. Heads off and onto his final lap, sweeps through turn 4. Out to the curb, goes onto the bridge. Goes on the curb for the second right-hander. Clips the curb nicely. Out to the edge of the track. Onto the bridge. And on the brakes for the uphill left-hander. Uses the camber to tuck the car into the apex. Out to the edge. Subaru driving very nicely around here. Up the hill, under the bridge he goes. Blind crest. Hooks in nicely, uses the curb on exit. Not too wide though. Very neat and tidy. So he climbs the hill for the final time. Up to the top of the corkscrew. Down the corkscrew for the final time. Swings through the left-hander. Down to the penultimate corner, 2 corners from home. Through the right-hander. Into the final corner for the final time. And Team Japan have their first win in the Nations Cup, courtesy of Rom Elson. And outstanding drive from the Team Japan man. He brings it home. Victory for Team Japan. SBY, the gap down just 2.3 seconds. Blue flag has been flying in these last couple of laps, but he is just going to run out of time. SBY almost out of fuel. He's got it perfectly. He finishes P2. Blue flag takes P3. Great drive from him. Mighty Iggy, after winning the last 2 races, can still be happy with a P4. Solid points. T Smith, what could have been for him. P5 for the Team France man. Team USA's top scorer is Pagani in P6. P7 will be Donzo. Ran high early on, but got shuffled back and never really recovered. Finishes P7. Aaron and Ross have got together on the final lap. Aaron is just going to hold him off. Look at the tyres on that Aston Martin. Holds on to P8. Switchback will come home behind them in P10. More solid points for Team Japan. All 3 cars in the top 10, ahead of their double points week next time out. Artemis Tocco will take P11 and some points for Team USA. And JP Greenwood will take home the final point for Team Germany, and he comes home in P12. So there we have it then, a win for Team Japan, and a very comprehensive one as well. And Rom Elson is your winner. On round 6 of the Nations Cup. Very well done to him, excellent drive. So race 7 is the Japanese round next week. Round 7 of the series taking place at Kyoto Yamagiwa. So Team Japan in what will be the final Group 3 race of the calendar, throwing themselves back into title contention before the final round of the series at Bathurst, which will be in the Super Formula cars. Expect that one to be electric as well. So thank you very much for joining us. Of course, this is not the end of FTRL this week. In fact, this is just the beginning. Slightly shorter week of action. Obviously the F1 has finished for a couple of weeks until the new game arrives, but we have got GT2 action on Thursday and GT1 action on Friday still to come, so lots of GT Sport this week. I do forget what the GT2 calendar is this week, so do bear with me. I'll just tell you what they are going to be. So it is Blue Moon Infield A and Spa for GT2 this week, before GT1 take place at the Cathedral of Speed that is Monza and Sardegna A. So do join us on Thursday and Friday at 8 PM for both of those. But thank you very much for joining us tonight. I hope you enjoyed the action, and we will see you again for lots more exciting FTRL action. But for tonight, thank you very much and good night.